Call the meeting to order. Jen, roll call.
Commissioner Delzer?
Here.
Commissioner Erickson? Commissioner Wagner?
Here.
Commissioner Abraham?
Here.
Mayor Lindsay?
Here. You have attached the minutes of the December 16th. Are there any additions, corrections?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from December 16th.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Before you, you have the agenda for this evening's meeting. Are there any additions or corrections or adjustments?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for December 23rd.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no appearances, acknowledgements, or correspondence for old business, we'll do the second reading of ordinance number 1552, supplemental appropriations for 2013. Jen, did you want to add anything to that?
Briefly, yes. We went over this quite thoroughly upon first reading a couple weeks ago. Just as a reminder, I've got 4 pages here. I notated anything, any line item that went over budget by $1,000 or more, or was anticipated to go, just to note. And you will see that most of these are funded by the cash balance, meaning that there's enough money left in the bottom line of the fund to fund these overages. The 2013 budget had $166,800 budgeted in contingency money. You'll see a couple line items here that I am requesting contingency money use on. There is a couple general fund line items and then several parks fund line items. But the total amount of those is only $28,372 of that contingency money. Okay? Most of these, again, if you look at your source of funding, most of them are able to be funded by cash balance. There are some capital replacement and depreciation that we've already talked about, the use of those already established funds. The only one that needs to be funded by a depreciation fund are the solid waste fees. And we've talked about that too, the gate fees that went over. Needs to be a self-supporting fund, therefore we need to supplement with the depreciation reserve at this time. Okay? I have a couple, if I may, a couple changes. So since first reading of this, we are allowed to change in between readings. Highways and streets, please. Capital outlay, machine and auto equipment. I decreased that by $500. Our new supplemental amount is $229,444. The V-Plow invoice came in, and because we decided not to have that delivered, we drove down to get it because it couldn't get here as quickly as we wanted it. They took $500 off of the invoice price. Okay, so we can't expend from the capital replacement the amount of the invoice. So that will go down to $500, okay? The other one is on page 2, please. The administrative fund, water admin interest. Our very first loan payment for the bonds out at the water treatment plant project, the very first loan payment came in. Because of the setup, it wasn't budgeted for 18 months ago. We didn't know where the project was at and when that first payment would be due. It was due December 1st. Interest only to the amount of $4,955.41. So if we could have a motion to accept these changes, and then I'll ask for a motion to approve second reading of the ordinance.
I make a motion to accept the changes as Jen has listed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the changes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Any questions before you approve second reading? Any other questions within the content of any of this?
Will it just be second reading or as amended?
Second reading
As amended.
Please.
I would make a motion to approve second reading of ordinance number 1552 as amended.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under new business, approve the purchase of a Ram 1500 special service vehicle. And this is to replace the the fire chief's pickup, and it is something that has been budgeted for, and the money is there, and the bid is coming in under budget. So is there anything you'd want to add to that, Randy?
I guess the truck I'm looking at is just a half-ton four-door, similar to what we have.
Mhm.
It's on the state bid, it's a special service vehicle for police and fire, it's kind of the truck for, police personnel or whatever. It's gonna suits me well, I think it'll be fine. There's a few options on there, I think what totaling 27 something.
Total purchase price off the bid is $27,935.
Mhm.
And then, then I'll have my lights and changing that stuff over.
Sure.
But, expect it to come in well under budget.
But then some of these dealer-installed options, it was my understanding, and that you could get that done cheaper in town than taking it off the state bid, and you were gonna do some of that
Correct.
way?
Yeah, I looked around.
Sounds good.
Like a tonneau cover and things like that.
Right.
I can get it
Mhm.
much cheaper, so.
Oh, sounds very good.
And this one, is it
Questions?
showing, we're purchasing it from Billion, is that correct?
Yeah.
Is there a reason because it was a state bid that we couldn't get it here?
Yep. The only way I could get it here is if we went with a Ford, and there was no Ford half-tons on the state bid. I'd have to go up to a 3/4 ton, and I thought that was too much truck for really what we needed. I tried, I met with Greg Robeson and those guys, and for whatever reason, Ford's the only one that can honor the state bid, it's the only one that can match.
I'm not sure. I think it has to do because it's that special service
And,
vehicle with the police and fire,
sure.
and I'm sure it's got something to do with Dodge and
But-
dealerships.
Prostralis couldn't match the Billion's price on the Dodge.
No.
Okay.
No.
And it's,
Just
too, how the
they-
state.
They were
would have
consulted,
bid.
that's the important thing. I mean,
Yeah.
they had the
Started there
option.
even.
Yes.
A couple other things I'll just throw out is the current truck, correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, I think we've been using that for like 15 years already,
Yep.
10, 14 years.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
it still has a little bit of value in it, and we'll figure out what to do with that after we decide what we want to do here. But, this one, I think, is going to also, I guess we can term it future-proof as well, in that with it being a special service for first responders, I've talked with Randy, and we're hopefully going to be able to do some things. There's some new technology that's coming out for first responders that Randy keeps on top of, and kind of match it up with some of the things we're doing in our police cars, and having Randy have access to some of that technology eventually as well. Might not be for another 3-5 years, but at least we'll have a vehicle where it'll be able to
Capable.
accommodate that, so. With that, I guess I'll make a motion to, let's see, approve purchase of the Ram 1500 Special Service Vehicle, and for the bid price of $27,935.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Authorize the mayor to sign engagement letters for fiscal year 13, annual report, and audit services. And Jen, any comments you'd like to make on that?
Please, I would love to have my auditors back.
Mhm.
They do like to do one-year contracts, so last year was the first year we had them, we did a one-year contract. They're coming back to me with another one-year contract. Great group, highest recommendations, I'd love to have them back. Prices did go up just a little bit, you'll see that the annual report, there's two separate engagement letters here. The annual report for services is $2,100, and then the audit is separate, and that is $11,900. That's an increase of about $400. So it did go up about $500 from last year, but it is still a substantial savings from what we have paid for those services in the past.
It's still far below bid, which is why we don't have bids.
Correct. Correct. Last year we did, if you remember, I did bid it out because it was my first year here and I got 3 different quotes and they were by far the lowest bidder. At one point last year, they had a group of 7 back in my coffee room auditing and it's just great to have them come in and hit it hard for a week and then be done.
And I had lots of questions for them last year, and I felt good that they were able to answer, so I understood what they were talking about.
I have them on speed dial. I'm great friends with the receptionist already. She knows who I am.
Mhm.
Has cell phone numbers. They answer all my questions. They're great.
Mhm.
So we can approve them together?
Please.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the engagement letter for fiscal 13 annual report and audit services.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Attached, you also have bills for approval and bills for ratification. Any questions, comments?
I have a change, please.
Okay.
General fund debt service, there was a payment for Caterpillar. It's our principal payment on our lease purchase. $16,509. We simply can't pay that yet. That is a 2014. We've already made the 2013 payment. This needs to hit our 2014 budget. It was simply submitted to her. We're gonna pull it out, sit on it a week. You'll see it come back when we approve 2014 bills.
Sounds
Okay?
good.
So your new total will be $617,652.62.
Make a motion to approve and ratify the bills.
Okay, I have one question ahead of time. Do we need to amend anything or, because of that change, or no?
No.
Okay, sounds good. Okay,
Second.
we have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we have a couple personnel actions. Any questions or comments?
Make a motion to approve the personnel as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no other announcements or other business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Have a great holiday. Merry Christmas.